Well, I just took Lola on a really long walk. I'm all red because it's pretty warm out today. And the end of the walk, she got in my friend's car and drove off. She's on her own now for days and days. She was fine. She was absolutely fine. And I feel like crying. I mean, what else is new? All right, here is me checking in right before heading to the airport. I am all packed. Terrible camera work. I am all packed and time to go get in an Uber and head to the airport to meet all of the families and the students, and we'll see when the next time I can check in is. At this point, it's 8:58 a.m. and we won't be able to get into our hotel room until 3:00 p.m. tomorrow, London time, which will be like, I don't know. I don't know what time that will be, but I know that when we land in the morning on Sunday, it will be like it's 11 p.m. here. So we're gonna be awake for a really, really long time. Hopefully I can sleep on the plane. We shall see. I will check in. Maybe the next time I check in is not until I get into that hotel room. I don't know. We'll see. But here we go. Fingers crossed for safe and uneventful, joyful travel. See you soon. I am whispering because everybody can hear everything in this hotel. There's like no insulation in the rooms. It's early in the morning and we are getting ready for day 2. I did not fill you in on day 1 because day 1 was crazy. I will fill you in later. Editing me will go back and tell you all about it. But we're going to Windsor Castle today and I'm very excited. And yeah, I'll fill you in. So I went down to breakfast and it was absolute insanity down there, but there are more people awake, so I feel like I can talk more loudly now. And so I came back up to my room to make my little cup of Nescafe. I always associate these not with England, but with India. So I am gonna enjoy my Nescafe, and I still will fill you in later about the first day, because that was insane. But we haven't left for Windsor yet. Soon, very soon.
Named the Churchill Arms, and if you come in summer, there were a few outside. They were looking a little bit droopy. Was hundreds and hundreds of flowers. They spend about £20,000, about $26,000 every year on flowers. How much they charge for a pint of beer to pay for that, I shudder to think. There we go. And that was also, this is a tricky one. Also, just behind there was where a very, very famous thriller author lived called Agatha Christie.
Some of them are researching her life. They know.
Oh,
they know her.
Well, you know, I'm going to be quiet because you know all about it. All about it. Now, we're just coming up to some traffic lights, and on the right is a rather atmospheric Victorian church.
Wow.
With these black railings called St. Mary Abbots. Yes, it actually goes back a lot older than... And here we have one of the most famous regiments of the British Army. These are the legendary Gurkhas. Oh, the Gurkhas. Fierce fighters from Nepal. They've been in the British Army since the mid-1800s, when we fought a war against Nepal, all the way back in 1814 to 1818. Can you see the knife they have on the back?
Windsor Castle. I got a moment to myself. I just walked through the chapel where Harry and Meghan got married and where Queen Elizabeth II is buried, and was strangely moved walking past. Sorry, a bug landed on me. A British bug, so it's okay. Strangely moved by walking past her grave. You cannot take photos, unfortunately. It is so gorgeous. I'm gonna try and get some postcards, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, I think. It reminded me a lot of the feeling that I had when I was in Saint-Chapelle in Paris. Yeah, just beautiful. A terrible angle and it's very hot, but I want you to see the castle behind me. I just came out of the staterooms and Queen Mary's dollhouse, and it was amazing. Again, no photographs, but I had my little tete-a-tete with William, who is a key figure in one of the, well, not one, in the novel that I have been writing for 10 years. Based on historical events, and every time I come here, well, not to Windsor, but every time I come to England, I always have to find out something new firsthand, and so I did that, and it was amazing. Now I need to go find all of my children, because they're somewhere, probably in the staterooms. It took forever to get through that, forever.
Hey, just so everyone knows, this isn't like a buddy of mine I've brought along to make this easier. He is a member of the audience. He's doing this so no one else has to. Make him feel good about it. Good luck. Perfect! Give your other person's hand in! Nice one. Is there anyone behind you? Okay. Because at this point, it's a choice to do that. Alright. Nice. Number two. Let's do it together. The more people involved, the more fun. We'll go 1, 2, 3, nice and loud. Like 3, he's going to throw the knife. Good luck. Everybody, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Thomas Nelson. Hello, this is our last full day in London. We are about to head out to the Globe for a tour and an acting workshop. The girls are very excited. It's going to be super fun. Then we're going to take a ferry up the Thames to Greenwich. I've never been there. I'm excited. I'm sure I'll input footage and pictures here. I have read absolutely nothing. Not a single word, but I did sneak away in Windsor, the Waterstones on High Street, and pick up a copy of Transformation by Mary Shelley. I love this cute little copy and the simplicity of it, and I just really like it. The feel of the production of the material and all of that. But it's also the book that I'm going to read for Mary Shelley May, for reading something by Mary Shelley that I haven't read before, so I'm super excited about that. Yeah, now I need to go downstairs. Oh, I forgot to finish telling you what we're doing. We'll see St. Paul's, and we're not getting to go into the Tower of London, which I think is a real shame, but we aren't going in, but we'll see the outside of it from the river. And then when we get back from Greenwich, we will, which always makes me want to say Greenwich spinach from the Pants with Nobody Inside Them by Dr. Seuss. Anyway, when we get back from Greenwich, we will eat dinner, and then we're going to go see a play at the Globe. We're going to go see Romeo and Juliet, and it is not a modern, it's a Old West retelling, so like the United States Cowboys and Indians Old West retelling, and I think it's a musical. I don't know. We'll find out what's going on with that. And I will check in. I'm very excited about all of this. Very excited, but it is our last day in London. We'll spend the night here tonight, and then we'll get on a bus and head for, I don't know, Canterbury and Brighton, I think, is our next stop. So, and Hastings, Battle of Hastings. So, Battle, which is a great name for a city. Battle. Anyway, I gotta get downstairs, meet the girls. So I will check in with you later.
famous man called Sir Ian McKellen from Lord of the Rings. So Gandalf from Lord of the Rings and Sir Ian McKellen's part. And it takes a wealthy man like Sir Ian McKellen to own one of these riverside lands. I'll speak about the river itself. The River Thames back in the 1800s was used as London's sewer. And the area on the left, we see the banks there, Canary Wharf on the left. And the building with the pyramid at the top and the flashing white light is called 1 Canada Square. The first building to be built in Canary Wharf.
So from Wednesday morning, we are heading away from London today, and as much as I have loved London, I'm kind of relieved. Our guide is a little bit difficult sometimes, and it's been hard to keep up pace with her and have the girls have a good time and make sure we don't lose any of them. When I say pace, I mean literal pace. And so it's just, it's going to be a little bit of a relief to get into areas that don't have such crowds and such possibility for getting lost, to get away from the tube. That'll be helpful for my peace of mind. But yesterday was so good yesterday was so good though, in that we did a acting workshop in the Globe, and it was really, really fun. I wish that I could insert some of the footage. Maybe I will try and black out their faces, because it was really good. We also took a ferry up to Greenwich. I had never been to Greenwich before. Honestly, I'm not that impressed. I'm not upset that I've never been to Greenwich before, but it was a nice, relaxing, and beautiful ferry ride. And then we came back and turned around, got some dinner, and then went to see Romeo and Juliet at the Globe. So Romeo and Juliet is my absolute least favorite of all of Shakespeare's plays. I really don't understand why it's considered a romance at all. It's not a romance. It's about two young kids who make stupid decisions that lead to their own deaths. And miscommunication, the miscommunication trope of all miscommunication tropes, like an undelivered letter. So I knew that the girls would really like it. They always like, you know, all of the students I've ever had have idolized Romeo and Juliet. And so I knew they'd love it. So we went, and also, like, it's the Globe. Seeing Shakespeare in the actual Globe Theater is an amazing experience, no matter what you're seeing. So really glad to go and do that. But we got there, and it was really good. It was really good. It was set in the Old West, and they did some interesting interpretation where they added ghosts. They added, so like Mercutio's ghost comes back, and Tybalt's ghost comes back, and Juliet's in her, after she has taken the poison, she's kind of in a ghost-like state, like between worlds. And then when Romeo dies, Tybalt and Mercutio's ghosts also die. And when Juliet comes back from her induced near death and sees that Romeo has died, Romeo becomes a ghost to her, and she ends up running onto his dagger. Like, they do a little dance and running onto his dagger, because he's kind of inviting her to join him in death, in forever. And it's kind of hearkening back to the lines that they focused on in the beginning, in the balcony scene. They take a lot of it out. Like, they've made a lot of interpretive changes. But it was really cohesive. It was really good. It was really strange, to say the least. And some of the girls who we haven't studied it. We've studied Macbeth, and in 7th grade they do Midsummer Night's Dream. So some of the girls were like, are there ghosts in this one? I didn't know there were ghosts in this one. So it was really fun to talk about that on the very long tube ride back to our hotel, and kind of deconstruct what's actual Romeo and Juliet, what was an interpretation, and why these choices happened to really work for me as a person who doesn't like the play all that much. And it was just generally a delight. We got back really late, and I pretty much went right to bed. Woke up this morning, had to pack. Today we are headed to all things that I have never done before. So today we're going to Canterbury and Hastings Battle. We're going to see the Battle of Hastings site although I think that they don't know where the battle basings actually happened. Not exactly sure. And then we are ending the day in Brighton, so we'll go to the pier, go to the beach, all that stuff. Never been there, never been to any of these places. Really excited to see these new things. Spend the night in Brighton, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome. We're taking a coach. That's gonna be really good. Really good. To not have to lug all of our stuff around and to not have to worry about catching things. Timing has been a point of contention along this journey. Pacing has been a point of contention along this journey. Yeah, more on that when I get home. More on that from editing Jenna, I think. In the meantime, I'm gonna say goodbye for right now because I've got to get downstairs. Maybe I can grab a muffin to eat on the way. And we are gonna load up and head off into adventure. Have I read anything? No. Am I in England? Yes. hotel room. Actually from the hotel room you just saw me in, but it's the next day. It is bright and sunny and early in the morning on Thursday. This is our second to last day. Today we go to Stonehenge. I'm very excited, and Bath, and another cathedral, I can't remember which one. And then tomorrow it's Stratford, and then we fly home. Brighton. I love it here. I would love to come back and visit again. The seagulls are a bit much. The seagulls are a lot. But we had a great time. We were able to rest and relax. This hotel was great. Everything was working order and quiet and clean and comfortable. The temperature is good. It doesn't smell like mice, which was an amenity at the London Hotel that I was not super pleased about. But yeah, today we get in a bus in about 30-40 minutes, and we drive to another cathedral, the name of which is just escaping me at the moment, and then Stonehenge and Bath. Very excited. Going into the Roman baths. We're focusing on Roman baths, not Jane Austen. Hoping to be able to stop by Persephone Books. I don't know if I will actually be able to. Also hoping to listen to an audiobook in the bus today. Yesterday after London, we were just so tired. I just used the bus to take naps, and it was really good. That might be why I like Brighton so much. I'm not exhausted. But yeah, Brighton was a blast. And you know, I'll insert footage, or have already inserted footage, I don't know. But we take off tomorrow. No, we take off in 30 minutes. And yeah, and I plan on listening to an audiobook. Not sure which one yet. Probably gonna try and finish Enchantra, but don't want any of the kids to ask me what I'm listening to. So maybe not Enchantra, maybe something a little less provocative. Anyway, I will check in again, obviously, and I have no idea what all these little bits and pieces are gonna look like when they come together as an actual UK vlog, but it's hard to take footage when you are with a bunch of kids all the time that you cannot take footage of, and, well, that I cannot share footage of, and I'm having a wonderful time. For a few minutes. I'm just gonna check in and say hi, but oh my goodness, tried to get to Persephone, too far away, not enough time, but I'll come back. So here I am in Bath, walking around. I did go to Toppings, but I ended up getting a Persephone book from Toppings, so it all worked out. I'll show you later. Sorry about that. It's about 7:03 in Bath in the morning, and I just got dressed, did a clean out of my bag to try to make room for all of my hair. Did a cleanup of my bag to try to make room for all of the things that I purchased over the course of this trip. We have one more day left. Today we head to Stratford upon Avon. We're gonna see all the Shakespeare stuff, and I'm gonna have a chance to be reunited with an old friend of mine from the years that I lived in India, so I'm very excited about that. We haven't seen each other for 10 years, and the last time we saw each other, it had been 10 years, so I guess every 10 years we get together. Bath was good. I tried the water at the Roman baths, and it was absolutely disgusting. I went to Toppings, the bookstore, and definitely purchased some things. Before that, we had been at Stonehenge, which was fast but great. And before that, we had gone to Salisbury Cathedral, and we saw the Magna Carta and all of that. I had never done that before, so that was pretty cool. The Magna Carta, the writing on it is so tiny, so very, very tiny. And I learned that that in that time period, that people who wrote left-handed used a different size and side of a quill, because different sizes and sides write differently, and there was like a lefty preferred quill and a righty preferred quill. So I didn't know that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, today we just have a bus ride, hopefully through Cotswolds, and then we'll settle down in Stratford and just spend the day there. We're ending everything on a trip to the Royal Shakespeare Company to see Much Ado About Nothing, but it's like modernized into footballers and their wives or their girlfriends. So that should be interesting. We'll see how it compares to Western Romeo and Juliet with ghosts. Yeah, it's all almost done. Feels like we've been doing this forever. It feels like there's no such thing as work back home, but I am definitely missing home. I am definitely missing my dog, and I am definitely missing having autonomy over my own days. Yeah, I would love to come back and do this trip by myself. Anyway, it's been good, and I will check in with you from Stratford. Here I am in Stratford at Shakespeare's birthplace. It's beautiful and quiet and lovely, and unfortunately you can't take any video inside, but I got some photos. I need to come back to Stratford without students. I just need to. Anne Hathaway's cottage, I could spend a million years there. What a trip. I will definitely check in tomorrow before we head out to the airport, because tonight we're gonna go see Much Ado About Nothing. But I am in my last hotel room for this trip. I'm sure I've shown you footage, or excuse me, or I'm about to show you footage. Our London hotel was pretty subpar, but every other hotel has been very nice. And this one is nice. Yeah. I think our Brighton hotel was my favorite. Our Bath hotel was my second favorite, and this is my third favorite, and London is my least favorite. It's been a whole lot of fun. Today we got to Stratford. We went to Anne Hathaway's cottage, which was amazing. And then we tried to go see the tombstone and the bust with Curse in the church, but there's some sort of music festival, so we actually don't know if we're going to get to see that at all. We're going to try really fast before we head to the airport tomorrow, but we may not make it. And if that's the case, that's fine. And then we grabbed lunch very quickly, just on our own. I got a Costa coffee. It was fine, and listened to some buskers, which I'm sure I will put in somewhere here. And then we went through his Birthplace Trust, which was also awesome, very awesome. And then me and one of my students sat in the courtyard for a while waiting for a live performance to start. So every 20 minutes they do a live performance, and it happened today to be a woman who has just so much Shakespeare memorized, and she did a soliloquy from She Did To Be or Not To Be. She did Out Damn Spot. She did something from The Merry Wives of Windsor, which I had never heard before performed, so that was super fun, very funny. And then she ended with Puck from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Yeah, the if we have offended, something soon is mended. She did that one, and that was really, really delightful. I have purchased too much. I have processed nothing. I am very tired and very happy and ready to go home. I think I said that this morning in Bath. I am definitely ready to go home. The pace of this trip has been bonkers. I've gotten so much sun. I can see it all over my face. But let's see, while things are fresh in my mind and I have quiet time right now, we were able to get into our rooms. The kids just have free time in Stratford, which is fine. It's good. And we are meeting in about almost 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours outside the hotel for dinner, where I am going to get to see one of my friends that I used to live with and work with in India. We shared an apartment in India, and I'm going to get to meet her daughter for the first time, her daughter who is like in her teens now. I'm going to meet her for the first time, and we're going to have dinner together, and then I'm going with my kiddos to see Much Ado About Nothing at Royal Shakespeare. So that should be amazing. But while I am here and things are kind of fresh in my mind before I get back to the States, where I know I'll be recording voiceovers over so many things, it was very hard to get time to film. It was very hard to find a quiet place to film. It was very, very hard to be alone to film. So, and I didn't need to be totally alone, but I can't put kids in my personal video. So, like the students, I can't put the students in my personal video. So this will be interesting to piece together. This will be very interesting to piece together. This was not my trip. This was the kids' trip. And I did not have control over what we did or how long we did anything for. And I have had a lot of fun, but also, you know, I wasn't able to have my own priority. So I don't even know what I've taken pictures of. I don't even know what I've said in the little clips that I filmed here and there. I don't know how I will pull this all together, but I know I will. And so while I'm here and I have a quiet moment in my room and kind of nobody knows where I am, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can think about what my favorite things from each location or maybe even each day of my trip. I should probably turn the camera the other way. Hang on. Okay, let's do that. So favorite things from each part of my trip. Let's see. Day one was disastrous. It was really terrible, really terrible. It was a big struggle because we were so tired. There was culture shock, homesickness, and our guide would not let us rest. And it was really, really tiring and exhausting. The kids enjoyed like the touristy, exciting things like double-decker bus riding and all of that fun stuff. And I don't know that I have a favorite thing from that day. I think my favorite thing was going to bed. From day one, we did a lot. We ran to a lot of different places. Actually, you know what my favorite thing from that day was? My favorite thing from that day was walking through Kensington Park again. I love Kensington Park. Yeah, that was my favorite thing. Going to see the Peter Pan, all of that. On the second day, my favorite thing was seeing Queen Elizabeth II's resting place in the chapel at Windsor. I had never been to Windsor before, and I didn't anticipate that she would be there, and I didn't anticipate that I would care. And I did. So I really enjoyed Windsor on the second day. On the third day, my favorite thing was the Globe workshop that the kids did, this Globe tour, getting to sit in that space without a bunch of people in it and just be present, touch the stage, all of that fun stuff. Really enjoyed that. And then getting to see the kids work with a real Shakespearean actor from England in a real workshop that the actors at the Globe use to stage and practice and run lines and audition for things. That was a whole lot of fun. And to see them work through scenes from Romeo and Juliet. That was a lot of fun. The fourth day was Canterbury Cathedral, which I enjoyed, but honestly, I think I enjoyed watching the kids have fun riding all of the roller coasters at Brighton. There was one kid who got on the merry-go-round, just a horse going up and down and up and down, and I can't put it in here, but there's a video of her screaming, oh God, get me off of this thing. And it's just going up and down around, and then we had kids who went on like a loop-de-loo that looks like you're gonna go off the pier and into the English Channel, but then you don't, and they had a great time. Bumper cars, all that fun stuff. So seeing them have a lot of fun was a lot of fun. Then the next day, Stonehenge. Stonehenge was my favorite, and sleeping in Bath. I had not slept in Bath. We also tried the water. I think I mentioned that. We tried the water, and now I know what Jane Austen tasted. I have tasted what Jane Austen tasted, and it was foul. It was so foul, and it stuck with you. It felt like mucusy going down your throat. It was bad. It was real bad. I would not like to take the waters. And then today, my favorite thing was Anne Hathaway's cottage, which I guess by rights should be Bartholomew Hathaway's cottage, but Anne Hathaway's cottage was my absolute favorite. Really loved that. Also loved just walking back to the hotel through this big park. Lots of good energy, lots of kid groups and buskers and swans, because there's a swan reserve there, so many swans, and seeing the River Avon, which I'd never seen before, so that was really fun. And I'm sure I will really enjoy the play tonight. And of course, I'm going to really enjoy seeing my friend Josie. Just lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff. Kids seem to be having a good time. They seem to be really ready to get home, as am I. After I'm done talking here, I'm going to repack my bags so they're ready to go. I have stuff, souvenirs that I need to try to fit in my bag. And then off to dinner, off to see Josie, off to the play, back to the room, go to sleep, wake up, go to the airport, fly home. We take off at like 4 in the evening, and we land 2 hours later. But it's an almost 10-hour flight. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. I really want to get my dog. My friend has been watching Lola, and I miss her so much. England is such a dog-friendly place. Like, dogs are allowed in just about everywhere. I've only seen one park where it said no dogs allowed, and that was because it was like a World War II memorial. It also said no games and no talking. No dogs, no games, no talking. So everywhere else, like in the cathedrals, in the even people carrying their dogs through Shakespeare's Trust, like all of those things, there's just dogs everywhere. There are bowls of water out for dogs everywhere. I just love it so much. There are also people smoking everywhere, even more than Seattle, and it drives me nuts in Seattle, but people smoking everywhere. I'd really like to move to England. I would really like to move to England. I love it here. I feel very comfortable here, and I don't want to live in London. I like the Cotswolds. I like Somerset, but I miss Yorkshire. I wish I was going to Yorkshire this trip, but I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know when that'll happen, but I would like to live in England, in Yorkshire. I liked Kent a lot. We went to Kent this time. I liked Kent a lot, but I still think I like Dover. Not Dover. Thinking Kent, White Cliffs of Dover. I really think that I would prefer to live in Yorkshire. Everybody has to walk past my window. I'm realizing that everybody walks past my bedroom window in this hotel. Anyway, here's what this hotel looks like.